Hello students, my name is Nidhi Singh and I am from Tata Institute of Social Sciences, Hyderabad. In the present module, we will be discussing about the reproductive health and technology in the context of development. Good reproductive health, according to the World Health Organization, means reproductive health, which implies that people are able to have a responsible, satisfying, safe sex life and that they have the capability to reproduce and the freedom to decide if, when and how often to do so. Implicit in this are the rights of men and women to be informed of and to have access to safe, effective, affordable and acceptable methods of fertility regulation of their choice and the right of access to appropriate healthcare services that will enable women to go safely through pregnancy and childbirth and provide couples with the best chance of having a healthy infant. The above statement clearly states couples' responsibility to ensure the importance involved in reproductive health. The relation between mankind and technology has been inseparable for the progress and welfare of society. The scientific inventions, especially in medical field, has contributed enormously and it continues with diverse targets. Technology helps in reproductive health matters of human beings. From the fertility control techniques to the fertility-induced processes are all related with various techniques. But one has to remember that technology should not produce more positive results than adverse implications. The reproductive health issues have social links, which in turn are accountable to ethical issues. Social institutions like marriage, family, and kinship are all involved in reproductive matters, but these relationships cannot be the same in every society. The technology may be similar, but utilization patterns vary. To judge the benefits of modern reproductive health technology, one needs a detailed understanding and its after effects on the community. Given socio-economic disparity with gender discrimination, reproductive health technology holds a key role in many societies. The nation's demographic profile could be tilted and countermeasures would have to evolve to restore normalcy. In such paradoxical societies, the WHO statement related to reproductive health can be taken in the motto of an individual's interest rather than larger social implications. But motherhood, which is the nucleus of reproductive health, has to be visualized in a multidimensional manner. The empowerment of women, which is the main concern, has to be protected and should get equal participation in this process. The development and intention of new technologies stand on the principle of welfare of the society. The drugs or devices related to reproductive health has benefited enormously for the needy group. But people who want to use these techniques for vested interest could bring adverse effects on humankind. The United Nations General Assembly in 1969 clearly mentioned that establishment of a harmonious balance between scientific, technological and material progress and the intellectual, spiritual, cultural and moral advancement of humanity. The General Assembly also emphasizes the importance of family for the development of children. After the oral contraceptive pill availability and medical approval for its use, the educational status of women improved. Now the contraceptive methods have improved and are more user-friendly to women. Similarly, media could pave the way for better spousal communication so that more couples utilize better maternal health care services according to their choice. The IVF, in vitro fertilization technology, has helped many couples and has brought happiness to their families. The artificial methods used for fertilization vary and the utilization patterns are also different among different groups. But one should not enter into the idea of stallions, half-man, half-ape super warriors. In the same manner in India, MTP Act 1971 and 2002 brought safe termination of unwanted pregnancy, and also saved mothers from the hands of untrained medical practitioners whose service can be utilized secretly. Child delivery practices, which is one of the important issues of reproductive health, varies within regions and nations. The cesarean delivery practices can be used under specific conditions, but this medical service can be misused and could exploit the innocent people. In the same manner, ultrasound sonography, which provides status of growing fetus in the mother's womb, can help to identify genetic and other related disorders to the fetus. But no one can expect its impact on sex ratio of the country. Among various reproductive health issues that have implications on technology, cesarean deliveries, sex ratio, and surrogacy are considered and discussed in the following lines to highlight the impact of technology. First, we'll go through the impact of cesarean deliveries. Cesarean delivery, also known as C-section, is a surgical procedure used to deliver a baby through an incision in the mother's abdomen and a second incision in the mother's uterus. C-section deliveries have to be performed under prescribed medical conditions only. It needs hospital facility and the mother has to take bed rest, but it involves more medical expenditures. This facility is not available at a primary health center, that is a PHC, at the PHC level, and only well-developed hospitals can perform these deliveries. But the data related to C-section delivery show that most of private hospitals perform it, but region-wise variations occur. PI in 2000 has critically examined the unnecessary medical interventions in cesarean sections in relation to people's perception. The incidence of cesarean section deliveries is reported to be higher in private health institutions when compared to that in the government hospitals. Excess cesarean deliveries can therefore have important negative implications for health equity both within and across countries. The maternal care and feeding for the newborn child could be affected due to the mother's surgery and can cause risk for the mother too. The state-wise data shows that states which come under the category of empowered action groups, including Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Orissa, Rajasthan and Assam for a 3-year period, these states show low percentage of C-section deliveries. The states which come under the category of developed show higher percentages of C-section deliveries. For example, southern states show high percentage of C-section deliveries. Further, the public-private differences shows that private healthcare centers show higher percentage of C-section deliveries. This argument was well established with various reports. WHO prescribed norm for C-section delivery was also crossed by many states. The norm is of 10% deliveries. The reason mostly points that higher the income of the family, higher the educational status of women, working women and urban residency collectively opt for private healthcare, which in turn results in this condition. Apart from these factors, cultural practices like horoscope, where a particular time for childbirth demands from the family, also makes health practitioners to perform the surgery during muhurats or the auspicious time. The technology development for the betterment of maternal health have been converted into a convenient option, irrespective of its implications. Now we'll discuss the sex ratio. The sex ratio has been calculated on the basis of number of females per 1,000 males in India. The sex ratio can also be considered as one of the developmental indicators. India shows steady decline in sex ratio, except in the latest 2011 census. but child sex ratio has declined from 2001 to 2011 census. Some states reach alarming levels of declining sex ratio, drawing attention not only for the demographic aspect but also for social aspects like status of women and further aspects like non-availability of brides for bridegrooms. The reason for declining sex ratio varies from patriarchy, female infanticide, dowry, and marginalization or vulnerability. In earlier days, to eliminate girl child, they used to follow female infanticide practices. Though these are age-old practices, science and technology has also joined hands with the above evil forces. The advanced medical technology, which was started for the welfare of the society, landed in the hands of destroyers and has resulted in the issue of low sex ratio. The technology named as ultrasound sonography, which can be used to detect any disorders on fetus, can also show the sex of the fetus. This became a weapon to eliminate female fetus before entering into the world. This important technology has become an easy and less expensive option for those who prefer sons. The preference for male child does not confine to patriarchy. It can be seen in educated couples and their families have well economic status. The ultrasound sonography clinics adopted various code languages to develop the message related to fetus sex rather than reveal it directly. This practice evolved to avoid legal implications. Some recent studies show urban sex ratio declined comparatively to the rural sex ratio. This shows availability of concerned clinics in urban areas. The government can try maximum to prevent this evil practice. But the change has to come from people. The equality for both men and women should reflect the mindset of the people and the society. The medical persons involved with this kind of act do this in the interest of money. Declining sex ratio is a silent emergency, but the crisis is real and its persistence is profound and frightening implications for society and the future of humankind. The clinics who provide this facility grow more than the required primary health centers. To stop this evil business, the Government of India enacted PCP&DT Act 1994 to stop sex determination test. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is a nationwide campaign to increase awareness on celebrating girl child and enabling her education. The campaign aims at ensuring that girls are born, nurtured, and educated without discrimination to become empowered citizens of this country with equal rights. The campaign focuses to interlink national, state, and district level interventions with community level action in 100 districts, bringing together different stakeholders for accelerated impact by Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India. Surrogacy. A surrogacy arrangement or surrogacy agreement is the carrying of a pregnancy for intended parents. Here both husband and wife provide the sperm and egg respectively, and the fetus will grow in the womb of other person. This technology mostly helps those couples who vehemently deserve their own child irrespective of its pace of development from single cell to full grown baby. This technology needs well-developed medical systems and high levels of financial affordability. This can also be linked with celebrity couples. On the other hand, it could also be a financial source for the surrogate's livelihood for solving her financial family problems. The clinics, which provide surrogacy services, can have a handful of women who can accept to bear the child till delivery. They accept it by looking at the monetary benefits but ignore its detrimental health aspects. This practice also shows regional variations and is limited to only private hospitals. The developed regions can set up these hospitals. These facilities can also be extended to couples residing in other countries. In common language, one can call it as renting of a womb. After delivering their beloved child, the woman who carried the baby in her womb cannot find any place near the baby or her healthcare services. This practice mostly related to celebrity couple who can afford money rather than their precious time to bear pregnancy. International couples come to India, pay money for this process and take the baby if everything moves smoothly. Otherwise, they abandon the child on the basis of citizenship norms of their respective countries. So the technology scars the innocent baby who does not know the reason of its birth. The recent announcement of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has instructions regarding surrogacy. According to this, the surrogacy clinics should not import human embryo for offering surrogacy, and no visa should be issued by the Indian missions to foreign nationals intending to visit India for commissioning surrogacy. Therefore, surrogacy service have to be offered only to Indian nationals. This can prevent foreign nationals to hire local women for surrogacy purposes. The role of MNCs or the multinational companies. Reproductive health technology always moves with new inventions. The society ultimately has the power to utilize it for positive and progressive aspects. The recent announcements by Apple and Facebook related to egg freezing facility for their women employees made a debate in academia. According to multinational companies, this facility can provide women employees to continue their career without interruption. The empowerment of women and the upliftment of her status in the society are important factors and everybody desires it. Reproductive health mostly revolves around women. She has to continue her role after child's birth. The reproductive age of women is from 15 to 49 years. It starts with menarche and concludes with menopause. It is a natural selection. Every childbirth and late childbirth early childbirth and late childbirth are both not advisable as per maternal and child health norms. These age factors are not only for health purposes but also for child rearing process. Still, mother plays a key role in many societies. As a great supporter for adults and child, she contributes much more than the father. Mother's love has no equals. Mother should be empowered socially, economically, and also in health aspects. Every age has its limitations, and accordingly, one has to perform, and even though willpower can motivate one, physical energy still puts restrictions. The egg freezing can help to postpone conception and help growth in professional life, but contribution to family life can still be a questionable aspect. Humans still depend on nature and follow certain natural norms. If these MNCs are really interested in women and her empowerment, they have to plan alternative strategies like to provide crèche facilities near the workplace, helper, nanny who can take care of the child, and incentives like maternal and paternal leave. After the ICPT Act of 1994, male involvement has become mandatory. Also, given the technology, the person can work properly from the house so that initial childcare can be given from home itself. The physicians and other health profession should begin to discuss and explain fertility preservation early during an adult's life and help young men and women to understand all options regarding childbearing before their marriage. There have been considerable medical and ethical concerns about the generally unregulated expansion of ART, including the use of surrogacy, international medical tourism to seek less expensive access to these technology, and the exploitation of women in less developed countries as gestational carriers for embryos conceived in some countries and taken to other countries. The use of ART is largely unregulated. There is a wide variation on how the technologies are used. Although guidelines are available, compliance is purely voluntary and the transparency of some ART practices are dubious. Brazina and Zhao discussed the ethical, legal and social issues impacted by modern assisted reproductive technologies. Eric explained ethical complexity and relational autonomy in staff accounts for pre-implantation genetic diagnosis in choosing embryos. They therefore argue that these new forms of choice pose a challenge to conventional models of individual autonomy used in UK genetic and reproductive counseling, and that relational autonomy may be a more suitable ethical model to describe the ethical principles being drawn on by staff working in this area. Wamenberg says that more important, without an active ethics review board, there is no public mechanism for addressing the ethical and social concerns that research on reproductive health can arouse. These concerns are many, and the ethical positions on each can be wide-ranging. The above examples of sex ratio, surrogacy, etc. related to reproductive health and technology thus provide adequate understanding about its consequences. Before implementing new technological services, clear understanding of its effect is needed. This should not add another income generating program for the private healthcare sector. Development has to be true in its words and applicable to all sections. Let technology be a tool and not the boss. We should understand its quantity and quality requirements. Otherwise, we will end up in the WALL-E or the iRobot phenomena. Reproductive health technology should aid human development successfully. Thank you.